Welcome to Grief Uprooted, a podcast dedicated to sharing your grief stories. Together, we embark on the mystery of one's grief journey as they learn to live, heal, and be courageous in a world rooted in trauma. Join myself, Christine, in an open discussion to help you uproot the grief in all our lives. I am an award-winning author, professional speaker, and humanitarian in the field of grief and trauma. I want you to be part of the discussion. Welcome back to Grief Uprooted. Today is January 24th, 2024. It's a special day because it's my birthday. But it's also a special day because today is Belle Let's Talk. I just finished recording a podcast and talking about words we're going to use for the new year. What's going to be your word? What's going to motivate you? Well, for Belle Let's Talk, the word is change. And what does that stand for? Choose a mental health organization to learn about or support. Help a friend struggle with their mental health by learning how to support them. Ask about how your school, workplace, or community is creating change for mental health. Nurture your own well-being by practicing and learning mental health strategies. Get involved in a mental health initiative or organize an event to support mental health. Engage in a conversation about mental health to fight stigma. That's what Grief Rooted is about. We're here to have the conversation about grief. Grief impacts all of us, and it impacts every ounce of our being. When grief goes off the rails and we're not given that ability to express ourselves and feel, body, mind, and spirit, our mental health is affected. And we need to stand beside each other. We need to walk this journey together. I want to share with you a few of the resources that letsbell.ca offers. The kindness box. Take a moment, create a box for a friend, and be able to share some of the great things you think about them. They give you the template to create the box. They give you the questions to answer. Some of those questions are my favorite memory of you, your greatest strengths, something I appreciate about you, my greatest strengths, 3 things I'm thankful for. They have so many different resources that we can implement into our schools, implement into our daily lives. It just goes on and on. There's self-activities. You can change your Facebook page, a chatter box, action posters, coloring pages, and so much more. Grief Uprooted is here to not only support and hope to encourage you to become part of Belle Let's Talk, but we're here to continue that conversation after my birthday, all year round, 24/7. We want to hear from you, and we want to have you on as a guest, and we want to hear your grief stories. So today is special because it's the day to start talking. It's the day to continue talking. And we will always be talking about grief here on Grief Uprooted. We're pulling it out of the ground. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to shake things up. Take care, and take care of yourself today. Your mental health is important, not only to us, but to the world. You are loved, you are needed, and you have a purpose. And that purpose is not only for yourself, it is for others. For we do not grieve alone. We do not heal alone. There's one way, one path to healing, and that is together. And I will walk that path with you. Take care. The winter blues. Would you believe me if I was to tell you there's actually a day in January that's considered the saddest day of the year. The other element to that is during some years, the saddest day of the year is my birthday. When I see that now or I hear that now, I kind of giggle because given what I do for a living, grief, death, and dying and trauma, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? But today's episode is on the winter blues, winter grief. And what do I mean by that? We're going to start off with Blue Monday. Blue Monday for 2024 falls on the 15th of January. And exactly what is Blue Monday and where did it come from and what does it mean? Interesting factor is that Blue Monday was actually a concept that a marketing campaign come up with for a travel company. And they used a bunch of different formulations for this. And what I find interesting is they chose this date because it's usually the day that all your bills from Christmas come in. And it's also the darkest day of the year. So when we combined the weather, which is usually cold and dark, debt since Christmas, it became known as Blue Monday. While the scientific validity of Blue Monday has been questioned, it's led to an increased awareness of that mental health issues that we all call SAD, seasonal affective disorder. And this day has always been kind of one that I've recognized because I remember being that teenager and hearing them talk about Blue Monday, that this was the saddest day of the year. In one year, it happened to fall on my birthday. And it became very popular when this marketing campaign picked it up for a travel agent to sell more hot destinations. But when we really look at it, does it make sense? It kind of does, because the winter months are hard. They're very hard for many, many reasons. We're looking at the fact that the sun isn't out there. SAD is a seasonal affect disorder. Winter grief, it's known as. It's that emotional struggle that during the winter months, we're in a little bit more darkness. Christmas is over and, we're either recovering from hanging out with our family emotionally, physically, and spiritually, or we're missing our family emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And that adds to our grief during the winter months. And it's just a time of really psychological difficulty that's combined with harsh weather. And when we look at the harsh weather, obviously we can relate it to our grief. We can take a moment and go, this is what grief feels like, cold and harsh, and really gets to the bones. But how do you grieve during the winter months? How do we make it through Blue Monday? So there's all different ways that each of us grieve and all different ways that we try to cope. And let's start, I guess, with those physical ways. And I think the hardest part of the winter months is getting out to go for a walk. I love walking. I love walking in nature. I love just walking in my community. I walk to the local Tim Hortons. I usually do like a good 2 blocks around my home and end up at Tim Hortons. And every time I go there, I see people I know. I see the elder people sitting at a table and all drinking their coffee and chatting, and they get to see your face, right? They get used to you coming in. I know in the summer months I would walk, and I remember going in and somebody commenting that I was dressed up, and I said, well, I'm dressed up for me. I need to feel good today. So a sundress felt right. and a pair of flip-flops and just going for a walk to see familiar faces and to grab that tea that I love. So when we really look at it, physical activity is one of the major restraints that we're dealing with. Um, we can't get out there to go for that walk. And then combined with that is the lack of sunlight. I know that a lot of people will use sun lamps. Some people go sun tanning, right or wrong. That's up to you. Um, and what I mean by that is in sunbeds and things like that. I'm not a heavy tanner, I'm a redhead. So everything just burns or freckles. But these are ways that people lift their spirits, needing that lamp to bring some sunlight. I know a lot of vitamin D is often recommended. I think on this podcast we need to get a naturopath on to talk about some of the natural ways that we can uplift our spirits. And I will hunt for that person. I have a few people in mind that I've used for myself. Adrenal fatigue has been something that I've dealt with in the past in my work in trauma. So yeah, that's a great topic too to be talking about. But for now, we'll focus on the winter grief. And so our first thing is getting out. Our first thing is finding out how we're going to physically move our bodies. Yes, we can do it in our homes and watch our TV and connect with people. I know another great way that we do that is via Zoom with our friends. That was something that came into play after COVID. I now have regular Zoom meetings with my girlfriends, and we get on and we talk, and sometimes we've done cooking together. But this is a great way to get out and talk to people. Join a group on Meetup, join a group on Facebook that allows you to talk and to connect. And it's even better if they're doing yoga or if they're doing some sort of physical activity that you're learning. Joining a club, I joined boxing for a while, really loved it. And that gave me the ability to meet some other people and get out. But again, the restraints of winter make it harder for us to get out and physically do things. What's the second part of that? Well, emotionally. And I know that we're all struggling with that. It's cold. It's harsh. And you have to build up that emotion to kind of go, hey, I'm going to go outside today and actually talk to people. I know how many times in your grief story I've received messages or posts where people are like, I don't have the energy to talk. I don't have the energy to connect with people. That's so common in grief. And let's combine it with winter and the saddest day of the year. And how do you get that energy? How do you build yourself back up? And, I just downloaded a really great app on my phone, and every day I wake up to a positive quote. Every day I look down at my phone now, and I've just discovered it changes a couple times a day. And I can read something that kind of lifts me up again. That makes me go, yeah, it's really cold outside, but achieving my goals is important to me. Being able to help people is important to me. And this reminds me that, hey, I'm not alone. Um, there are so many great apps out there that bring us. But again, it's having the ability to do that first step. How do you do that first step in winter grief? Well, I'm going to tell you how you do that first step. You just do it. You just put one foot in front of the other and you take that step. And what's amazing about that is when we do that, I have talked about our prefrontal cortex shutting down and going into fight, flight, or freeze. And when you are in that freeze state mentally, and then you look outside and it's frozen too, just one simple step. One step to join a Facebook group, one step to join your grief story group. It's right there. We've created it for you. One step to put on your boots and go outside for a second. All these steps are so important, and we lose the importance of them. We think that's just a simple step. What is that going to do if I put my boots on and I walk outside? I'm going to tell you what it's going to do. It's going to smack your face with freezing cold air. And all of a sudden you're going to go, whoa, I'm awake. And it's going to help you physically and mentally snap out of that prefrontal cortex shutdown. It's going to say to your body, I'm alive, I'm here, and I'm ready to do it. So I'm here to tell you that winter grief, seasonal affective disorder, all these things are true. They exist. They are present. I think so many times in grief, we talk to ourselves and we're like, I'm crazy. I must be crazy because everybody else around me is happy. Everybody else around me is moving forward and I'm not. And now the winter's hit. And yeah, they're right. Blue Monday, your bills are coming in. It's a whole new year. You're supposed to have this great epiphany of what you're going to do with your life this year. What is going to be different for you? You're going to finally lose the weight. You're going to finally start a new project. You're going to finally get the education you were looking at. You're going to finally start being positive. If you've never started it before, why in the world do we think that the month that contains the saddest day of the year is going to be the month that you do it in? Aren't we setting ourselves up for failure here? Or better yet, because I do not believe failure is a failure. I believe it is a time for us to reflect and move on. But are we not setting ourselves up to climb up a hill when we decide to do this in January? Why in the world don't we decide in August, in the hottest month of the year? I often joke that people don't grieve in the summer because we never really seem to want to face any of this heavy stuff then. But because we're locked in by the weather, here in Canada, I should express, and we're not out there socializing like we usually do in the sun, we start to let our brains go. We start to overthink. We start to think. And some of us do that famous thing where we go up north to Blue Mountain and all those different places and we ski and we embrace the winter. But what if you're not that person? What if winter's not your thing? Never has been mine. But you know what I taught myself was to see the beauty within it. To change the way I think about winter. To change the way I think about January. So when I look at January now, every January, my age changes. I add another number. Every January, there's the saddest day of the year. Every January is the shittiest weather you can ever find. But every January for me, it's kind of like a new direction. Or kind of during my journey, a new little sign during the road, during the track that I'm going down. And what I like to do with myself and with my clients is ask you, what word would you describe what 2024 is going to be for you? So last year, my word was prepare. I was preparing for this podcast. I was preparing for my speaking career to expand, and that it did in a big way. But this year I decided my word is action. My word is action. And what I mean by that is no more overthinking. No more sitting there going, this is what I'm planning on doing, and this is how I'm going to do it. There's that 5-second rule, right? If you think too much about something, you're going to talk yourself out of it. So instead of thinking so much, I'm just going to go for it. And I have to tell you, so far, we are only halfway through the month, and I've achieved a lot. And part of that action word is taking the action to slow down too. to stop for a second, to ponder, to look at what's going on in life. So I decided to ask other people, not only my clients, but other people in general, in the public, what would be their word? And one lady in particular I met at a motorcycle store. I was off at the Indian dealership looking at motorcycles, dreaming. I was actually looking for a gift for my father. And there was this vibrant woman in there. She was talking away. And I looked at her and I said, what's your word for 2024? And she looked at me and she pondered for quite a bit. She goes, what do you mean? And I said, well, if you were to sum up a word in one word, if you were to sum up your year or what you hope this year holds for you, what would be your word? And she looked at me and she said, no. And I stopped and I said, pardon? She goes, no, that's my word. And I go, okay, what do you mean by no? And she goes, the power of no. The power of being able to look at people and say, no, I'm not going to be happy. No, I'm not going to put on a happy face. And I kind of looked at her and thought, okay, this is very sad. And she looked back and said, no, it's very powerful. To look at this word that we are told not to use. And as she started talking, what my brain was doing. I was totally into grief, right? And I'm totally like, the power of no. And she goes, just being able to say no to people when I really don't want to do something. And she goes, I just want the ability to say, no, it's okay for me to be sad. No, it's okay for me to want to sit at home all day. And no, it's okay for me to want to run outside and be happy and enjoy life for a day. So she had taken this one word and expanded it so beyond what the meaning of no means to me. And this leads me into, a powerful activity I used to do with large groups. And the odd time I still do it when I'm working within a corporation or doing a keynote speech. And that is the power of words and what they mean to us. Action to me holds so many different meanings, most probably than action means to you. And our past experiences really form our belief system. They really form how we perceive things. So the activity would be that I would ask people for 1 minute. It's a long time. To sit there and repeat the word orange. And we're going to do it right now because I think it'll just be fun. So wherever you are, I want you to just take a moment and follow me. So we're going to use the word orange and we're going to start repeating it. Are you ready? I'm going to set the clock. Here we go. Orange, 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 orange. Orange, 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 orange. Come on, keep going, man. We're not even quarter of the way. Orange, 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 orange. Orange, 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 orange. If anybody's witnessing you do this, you look completely foolish. Orange, 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 orange. Oh my goodness, we're almost there. Orange, 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 orange. Orange, 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 orange. Oh, thank God we're there. And now the next thing I'm going to say to you is, what does the word orange mean to you? Do you know what would happen? Look at yourself right now. Orange makes you giggle. It makes you laugh. Orange makes you think of different things. When I would ask a group of people to think about the word orange, they thought of an orange, an actual orange. So they thought about food right away. When I think about orange, I think of my head, my hair. I think about people teasing me. I think about, being razzed that I'm a redhead. I'm a curly redhead on top of it. You must have a bad temper. You're a fiery redhead. So orange to me was not something that brought joy or food. Orange to me was something that really brought anxiety and feeling like I was somewhat bullied because I look different. But orange to most people was a food. But now when I would turn to that group after doing that simple activity and went, orange, they all giggle. They all look at each other. And I say the word orange, they go orange. You see, words are powerful. And just choosing one word for your year is such a start in dealing with winter grief. That word for you might be empathy. And I don't mean empathy for others. I mean empathy for yourself, for who you are, for your grief, and for your journey. Your word might turn around and be courage. And that courage is to continue to live life. January is usually the highest suicide rate of the year. And in my career, I've stood by those who've contemplated suicide. It is such a place of loss, lost being lost within the world. And we need to talk about it. We need to realize that courage could be your word. And what that might mean to you is to have the courage to live life. This isn't easy. This isn't easy by far. This is the hardest thing that we have to do, is live life. It takes courage to live life. It takes courage to tackle winter grief. It takes courage to just face that SAD exists, seasonal affective disorder, PTSD exists. All of this exists. It took a travel company to wrap it all up in a Blue Monday. But it exists. It is not what happens to you in life that defines who you are. It is what you do with that defines who you are. We all fall for so many reasons. But not all of us stand up again. And realizing that standing up isn't done alone. Realizing that asking for help from a coach, a counselor, a psychologist, a friend, a hospice worker, literally anyone, is a sign of strength. The the strength to look at yourself in the mirror and go, I need to stand up again. I need help to be resilient. And that's what 2024 should be. That's what it should be. It should be a year of being able to openly talk to each other and be vulnerable about this stuff and say, hey, we can have these conversations. Sure, my tears are rolling down my face as I talk about this subject because it's not just a story for me. It's reality. I deal with this reality every day. I believe it's my purpose to be here to help others walk this journey of grief. And suicide is a huge part of grief. It's hard to grieve the suicide of somebody. And it's hard when those thoughts creep in, especially in these winter dark days. But make your word courage. The courage to step out. The courage to talk about it. We all are familiar with Bell, let's talk. It's there, it exists. It's no longer something we're not talking about. We talk about PTSD. We talk about grief. It all exists. Just think about it. Ask yourself, what's your word for the year? What's going to be your word? What's going to help you move forward? Write it down and don't let it be orange. Let it be a really powerful word. Sometimes what helps people when they're trying to pick their word for 2024 is, what would you name last year? So my last year word was prepare, right? I've had people say my last year, I would assume my word, or from looking at it, was warrior. And then they'll say, I want to continue that path. I want to continue on that warrior path. So then what's the other definitions of that word? Google it. Action has a lot of different words that could be put to it, right? We have physical action. We have mental action. We have spiritual action. So choose a word. What are you going to be courageous in? What are you going to have empathy in? What did you have empathy in? What did you be courageous with? It could also go the opposite way. Maybe you felt last year was full of sadness, and this year you want to fill it with happiness and joy. These are all options. These are all things you get to choose. Nobody else, just you. And write it down. And then every day, look at it and go, what did I do today that honored that word I chose? And it can be simple. For me, I posted some pictures behind me during this podcast. I reorganized my office. That was a step for me. It was a step for me to say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put a little bit more of myself into this. And this is one simple action of hanging up some pictures. But that one step made an impact on me because now I'm recording this podcast. Choose your word. Make it count. And think of it every day. Realize that Blue Monday exists. It is a thing. SAD exists. Post-traumatic stress disorder exists. There's so many. I could go on and on. Mental health exists. Every day, we need to realize how special we are. Every day, we have to look at ourselves and say we can make it. every day, you have to see that one special thing about yourself. And if you can't see it, then go ask somebody. Go ask a friend. Pick up the phone. Text somebody. Say, what's one special thing about me? I did this once. The answer was, wow, you're really loud and you love to talk and you laugh all the time. I'm like, wow, that's a special thing. Kind of sometimes think that's an annoying thing, but okay. But it made me smile. Every day is a different day. Every day is a challenge, and it's exceptionally harder in the winter months. So, what you need to do this week is share your word. Send us messages. You always do. Let me know your word. Let me know why you chose the word and kind of your different definitions of it. I'm always intrigued by that because when I say action, everybody thought I was going to start losing weight and I was going to do all, and I'm like, no. I mean, to actually stop procrastinating on everything that I want to achieve because I'm scared to achieve it. I'm fearful that I may fail at a few things. No longer do I want that to hold me back. So I'm going to be actionable in everything I do. So that's my word. So tell me your word. Send us a message or send me a message and share it with my team and let us know what's your word and what's your definitions of it and how you plan on taking one step, one foot in front of the other, and continue to share that and let us support each other, not only through the winter months. Let's support each other all year round. Thank you for tuning in. And remember, your grief story matters. It matters because it makes you a better person. Take care, everybody. Grief Uprooted professional grief and empowerment coaching are not to be used as a substitute for professional advice by legal, medical, financial, business, spiritual, or other qualified professionals. All our products and services are designed for grief empowerment through learning and sharing of one's lived experiences.